Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mongoli's Movie Show. Today, we're taking a look at Marvel Zombies. This is the brand new Disney Plus show. It just came out about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We are a little bit late getting this review done, but I wanted to bring on my buddy, BubbaHotep, who's also a Marvel fan, but is a much bigger zombie fan than I am. Wanted to talk to him about it, and it just took a little bit of time for our schedules to align. So, Mr. BubbaHotep, how are you doing today, sir?
Heidi ho, I am doing good. I'm in a new studio that's got soundproofing, so I
Nice.
can't
I'm a
hear
little
anything.
jealous.
Yeah, this is excellent, man. I'm having a
That's awesome.
blast. But I was excited getting with you this morning. We haven't really got a chance to hang out very much.
Absolutely. So we just actually got done doing our spoiler-free version of the show over on your channel, over at RealBubbaHotep on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go check that out. If you haven't seen this already, or you just want a little bit more Bubba Hotep in your life, head on over to his channel, give it a follow. He's doing a lot of hard work over there, and it's really paying off for him. It's really fun to see. But right here, right now, we're going to get into the spoiler version of the show. We already discussed it a little bit on his, but for people who are coming in over here, what did you think of this show? Did this do it for you, or were you kind of left a little bit cold? You're a much bigger zombie fan than I am. Did the
I
zombie aspect bring you in?
I enjoyed it. The zombie aspect is definitely what brought me in, and I like that they're doing something with Marvel Zombies because I was such a big fan of the comic book when it came out, graphic novel, comic book, whichever you want to say.
Whatever.
So I'm really excited. And when they came out with the what if for episode 5 season 1, I was so excited, and then I wanted more. I was hoping there was going to have at least like one more zombie edition for each
Yeah.
season, but the second season came out and I'm like, man, I hope this wasn't a one-off. But yeah, I mean, it kept me engaged all 4 episodes. I wanted to watch all of them back to back.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the what if episode. We kind of talked about this. I remember watching that when it first came out, and I was excited for it because I also read the graphic novel, or at least the first little bit of it, and enjoyed it. Um, and the episode, again, I watched it again last night for the first time in years. It really leaves you with blue balls. Like there is no ending to that episode per se. They just kind of go like, "Oh, that's 23 minutes. Goodbye, everybody." And it's like, what? Like there's no resolution. There's no interesting concept. We don't see our characters even like that zombie thing where they get like taken out. You're like, oh, I think they're dead, but we don't actually see them die,
Mhm.
and then they somehow miraculously survive. Literally, they're just flying through the air, and the episode ends. You're
Right.
just like,
Yeah.
what? And
Yeah.
there was no announcement of Marvel Zombies at that point. This is 4 years later that this
Mhm.
this series came out. I I didn't like that episode when it came out because of that. Like I was having a great time with it, and then it just ended, and I was pissed. Do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
remember your initial thoughts on that episode?
Yeah, I was about the same way because even though with a lot of zombie movies you are left with open ended, you don't know what's going to happen, but you're led somewhere to
Yeah.
they might have found a cure, they're on search for a cure, or something like that. And this was just absolutely nothing. You had no idea what was going to happen 1 minute to the next. You didn't know who they were going to add in. It left you wanting more, but there was no promise of more. So
Exactly.
it's I have a saying, being Southern, I have a saying for that, and I'm going to say it. You might want to edit
Edit
it
this
out.
out.
Yeah, but honestly, I'd say it's like masturbation without the payoff. Honestly, you
I'm
just
okay with
sit there
that.
and watch the movie, and then nothing at the end, and you're like, well, I might as well go
Yeah.
mow the yard. That's all.
It's like edging, yeah. Even if they'd said like, to be continued in Marvel Zombies, and we just didn't know when Marvel Zombies was coming, at least that'd be something. But it literally just
Right.
left us on a cliffhanger. I didn't know this project was coming, to be perfectly honest. This came out of left field for me. So I was really excited when all of a sudden, like I saw it on YouTube. I didn't see it on YouTube. I saw people talking about it on YouTube first, but in a it's already out and it's actually pretty good sense. So
Right.
like I
Right.
had no time to build up for this. This was just like, oh, there's a show. And then I ended up watching it that evening with my twins, my teenage daughters, and we all really enjoyed it. We didn't watch all of it in one sitting. We watched the first 2 episodes one night and the next 2 the another night. But I think this is what 2 hours and 10 minutes or so if you watch
Yeah.
all 4
Yeah.
of them back to
Roughly.
back. That's not very long. This is easily a movie. Even if you watch the episode of What If into this, which is what I did last night, that's only 2.5 hours.
Right.
Like this is very digestible in a one sitting scene. And I think it's actually a pretty solid. It's a series, but like this could be considered a movie and be a pretty solid movie.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, kind of around the same length as a typical Marvel movie, 2.5 hours, something like
Yeah.
that. So to me, it felt like I was watching a phase 1, Marvel movie, the phase 2s and phase 3s, it is what it is.
Now, because we are allowed to talk about spoilers a little bit more in this episode, I do want to mention each episode, as much as it could be considered a movie, is very much its own separate thing. Like, you've got characters who are through characters, but like the first episode is very much the road trip episode. The second episode is very much the raft. The third episode is very much the New Asgard, and then the fourth episode is the final battle. Like, they are very clearly defined what they are. I thought it was interesting that we get a lot of the returning cast members for this, but only from phases 4 and 5. Almost every character from phases 1, 2, and 3 was replaced, with the exception of Paul Rudd, I think. I think pretty much everybody else, like Thor, Spider-Man, like all the Hulk I don't think the Hulk has a line. They didn't get those actors back. And obviously with Black Panther, we don't have Chadwick Boseman anymore. I really liked their decision to just not give him lines, just have Spider-Man narrate that section, even when he's saying like, oh, I heard him say Wakanda forever. I thought that was brilliantly done.
Yeah, me
instead
too.
of trying to recast him or something, but still give him a send-off even in this universe. Overall, I was really impressed with the voice acting in this movie. I thought this TV show, I thought they did a really good job, and I thought they brought back the right characters for this.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Now, Mark Ruffalo gets a credit.
Does he say anything?
So I don't know if he says anything or not, but I noticed he did get a credit. It was the same thing with me. I mean, was he just that I can't even remember what they called him, a protector, or did he actually, or did he actually say something?
Hulk definitely doesn't talk at the end.
Yeah,
he's nonverbal in the entire last episode. I'm trying to remember if there was a flashback scene or something with him, and
I don't think there was.
I can't remember, because like in What If, they kind of leave him behind. He's in New Jersey or something, and they fly away while he's fighting all the things, and that's the last we see of him. And then I don't think we see him again until the last episode where he is the sign. Oh, there's a dream sequence in like the second episode or something. But again, I don't think he talks. That's interesting that he got a credit.
Well, no, whenever the Minotaur, whatever, was talking about him, pretty much, I mean, you saw Bruce Banner and you knew who he was.
Yeah.
And then he went and he turned into that. I can't remember any lines, any dialogue of his whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, I went back. Was it Tom Holland that was actually doing Spider-Man? Yeah, I didn't think so. It kind of took me out a little bit.
Spider-Man is such a hard character for them to do, because like we mentioned this a little bit on your channel, we didn't really give it away. Spider-Man is in this, and because Spider-Man is in this, that is my understanding the only reason this isn't a movie is because they have a contract with Sony where they're allowed to do X amount of movies with Spider-Man in them, and they didn't want to, for lack of a better term, waste one of those credits on this project. But they're allowed to do TV shows with them, which is how we got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Spider-Man in What If. So making this into a television show allowed them to put Spider-Man in this. But we kind of discussed this earlier, like he's kind of a non-character in this. And like I say that being a huge Spider-Man fan, easily my favorite character in fiction. I love him. He's not good in a zombie apocalypse. He's agile and he's got a spider sense, so like that's fine. But most of the times we see him swinging around, there's nothing for him to be swinging to.
Yeah.
Like the last fight scene, they're in the middle of absolute nowhere. Like it might as well be a desert. And he's kind of jumping around doing what he can do. And the scene where he rips all their heads off was, I'll give it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But like, he doesn't have anything to swing off of, and that's his main way of getting around. So it's kind of like, I don't see how you don't die instantly.
Right.
But somehow he survives this project. He doesn't even die at the end. Like we never see him die.
Yeah. I kind of like that, but I'm with you 100%. I mean, Thor had more of a pivotal role in this than Spider-Man did. And how many words did he actually say?
Pretty much just like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Go. I've got this. You're an Avenger now. Like that's pretty much the extent of his arc. It is not Chris Hemsworth for that. It is a different actor. But I thought if I didn't look that up, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Like he sounded like Chris Hemsworth to me.
Yeah. I thought it actually even looked like Chris Hemsworth. Yeah. Paul Rudd took me out a little bit. I mean, it didn't look like Paul Rudd. It kind of did, kind of didn't, but this like right around the eyes, it caught Chris Hemsworth like 100%. I thought it was him that was narrating it.
It's interesting to me that in both scenarios we get, Thor kind of gets sad and kind of just turns off and just goes away and does his own thing. Like in the MCU, he obviously loses Asgard to Thanos and kind of just gets fat Thor and plays video games, and in this one, like, he loses and he just kind of like sits in Asgard doing nothing, and he's just a broken version of himself. It's interesting to me that is just who they think Thor is. Like, when he suffers a massive loss, he just gives up.
Right. I mean,
that doesn't resonate for me.
You always have in comics how Spider-Man was always the angsty one, and I think the way MCU has Thor, I think Thor is more the angsty one. And one thing that did take me out, though, I was upset. I don't know why they did this. In the movie, he throws whatever, I can't remember.
Stormbreaker?
Stormbreaker. He throws Stormbreaker, catches him right here, and Thanos says, "You should have aimed for the head." And then later on, years later, zombie Thanos is there, and he hits him in the same spot. Come on, seriously.
Well, no, it's not years later. It's a different timeline. So it's the same moment, essentially. So it's him doing the same mistake at the same time. Like, this is his first time seeing Thor.
See,
That's the way I was taking that.
But they were talking about in What If, they were talking about when Hulk comes back. Yeah, and he said, so yeah, it would okay.
Yeah, because the whole thing starts off with Hulk landing on the planet, which is what he does at the beginning of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Right? So it's that time in the timeline. And then when Thor and the Groot and Raccoon come back, I'm assuming it's that point in the timeline.
Okay,
so he does the same mistake. Like, that is, again, inherently part of Thor. He's going to aim for the chest.
All right, so it's much better. You corrected me on that. For some reason, I was thinking it was after the snap, and it was after they got everybody back and blah blah blah. That's what I was thinking. So going into that, I was like, why didn't he just go for the head? Because he was already,
he knows he's supposed to now.
Yeah, but now that you brought that, I think that's much better because they kept it like 100% spot on with the movie. So that I'm a fan now. Thank you for clearing that up for me.
Yeah, I made it better for you.
That was a good thing. You changed my mind.
But, what did you think about? And I mean, like, I kind of want to go into everything, but I also want to keep this video relatively short. What do you think about the ending? Because, like, we were talking about the stereotypical zombie ending where, like, your heroes are kind of led somewhere. It usually has a pretty dark ending. Like, 28 Days Later is kind of the only zombie movie I can think of where there's kind of hope at the end. Usually they end in a dark place. What's the zombie movie? Is Zack Snyder, where it's mostly in a mall? Day of the Dead.
Oh, you're talking the remake? Yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead.
That one bothered the crap out of me because they finally get on a boat. Spoilers for a whole other movie. Finally get on a boat, and then during the credits, they make it to an island, and they all just die anyways. I was so mad at that movie.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So in this one, they never. And please, somebody out there watching this, or you, anybody, correct me if I'm wrong. They never really explain why Wanda wants Kamala Khan. They just say that she does. And somehow the two of them put together reforge the world. Why? It's been a minute since I've seen Miss Marvel, but like, her powers, like, Wanda should be able to do that by herself. She shouldn't need Miss Marvel. But
I wondered about this, but the one scene that they're showing is from outside where you see the Earth, and she uses Miss Marvel's force field to encapsulate the Earth right at that part. I'm thinking that once she gets the Infinity Stones and gets the energy from the Infinity Stones, it would kind of radiate out to the entire universe. So she needed the force field of Miss Marvel to encapsulate and contain it inside the Earth itself.
Okay, so she's changing Earth, but she's not changing all of reality. She's just changing what Earth looks like. Interesting. Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of, because I had the same question. Why are they... I know they're trying to make Miss Marvel the big thing in the new phases and stuff like that, but she's less than impressive. I've never been a big fan of her. So
sorry.
Yeah, no, I got you. You know, why would they try and make her so important and everything? And I'm thinking it's because of her force field.
I don't think that her powers are super impressive, and obviously her powers are different than they are in the comic books. They changed it for the MCU, so it looks different. So she's just not a Reed Richards clone.
Right.
I think Aman Vellali, I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, I 100% did, is doing an incredible job. I think her character is so fun to watch in everything she's been in, including this, including the Marvels, including Miss Marvel. Like, she is kind of my anchor for the MCU going forward. As much as I love the other characters like Spider-Man and whatnot, like, if she's in a project, I get a little bit more excited because, like, I just love the energy she brings to those things. So I love that she was, quote unquote, the main character of this show. It just didn't really... I kind of needed the explanation you just gave as to why, because even in WandaVision, she kind of just puts a bubble around that town and then changes the reality of that town. So if all she's going to do is change, like if that's her go-to move, is just make people think they're seeing something they're not, which is what we saw in WandaVision, and that's what she's doing in this show. Essentially, she's just kind of got Kamala Khan thinking that she's living in this perfect world when actually she's in the zombie apocalypse.
Right.
I don't know why she would need Kamala for that, but I don't know. Maybe I just needed that explained a little bit better to me. Is Kamala Khan alive at the end of this? Like, is there hope for a season 2?
Yeah, it honestly, I'm hoping there's a season 2. I really do. I think the potential is so fantastic for this. I love the way that they eradicated all of the phase 1. You know, they made everybody the phase 1 zombies, and you pretty much saw everybody's demise. So you have no choice but to move on. And as for the actress playing Ms. Marvel, I think she's doing a fantastic job. I'm just not a huge fan of that character. You know, if she would have, in all honesty, if she would have played Squirrel Girl, I think she would have, you know, been great for that. You know, but
I'm not super familiar with Squirrel Girl, so
yeah, I'm not extremely familiar. I'm just, she could have played any different character. I just don't like that character very much.
Okay.
But she's like a B class superhero, to say.
Yeah. So at the end of this project, as you mentioned, like most superheroes are dead. We don't, I watched it very carefully this time around. We don't see Spider-Man die.
Right.
They somehow bring back Ironheart. And Ironheart is one of the few shows I haven't seen yet, so I don't really know a whole lot about her character, but she's alive at the end. Theoretically, Kamala Khan is alive at the end. Valkyrie takes a pretty nasty wound, but maybe.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know her name, but Aquafina's character, we don't really see her die. We see Shang-Chi die, and she kind of like mourns him.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't believe we see Aquafina's character die. So, like, there are a couple of characters they could bring back, but so much of the MCU at this point is already dead. I don't know what that season would look like. If, again, I have no idea if they're doing a zombies season 2, but if they were, I have no idea what that would look like. And it feels like most of the people we care about are already gone. Like, they did a great job of bringing in characters that we liked for this season, or at least characters that I liked, specifically like Yelena is a fan favorite. Kate Bishop I really love. Stranger Things, Winter Soldier.
Sebastian Stan?
Nope, the other guy, not Winter Soldier. Red Guardian.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name. I can't remember the guy's name. He's been in so much. Is it David something? I can't remember.
It's David something. I'm just blanking on it. I theoretically have it in front of me even, but I think he's doing a great job. David Harbour.
Yeah, Harbour. That's it.
The Blade Khonshu was something I did not see coming. And
me neither, and I'm excited for that. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. It brings it pretty much another Doctor Strange. I mean, Doctor Strange could see he pretty much knows everything. He's the mystic, you know, and all of that. And this is kind of like a Doctor Strange 2.0 that's just a little bit more awesome because he's a vampire.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, and like I didn't love Moon Knight, and I don't know the character from the comics all that well. So like combining Blade and like Blade Knight, I think is what they called him.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely incredible. I hated that he died, but at the same time, like, you know, Thor, what are you gonna do, right? Like, it's like, all right, at least he went out strong. Yeah. But I hated that he died because I liked that character so much. Like, he was kind of the breakaway of this show where I was like, I want more of that character, and I don't know that we're ever going to see that pairing ever again.
Right. The one thing that took me out a little bit, I wish they would have used a different voice for Khonshu whenever Khonshu comes up and Valkyrie sees, and she kind of seemed like she was a female that was trying to sound like a real rough kind of put the man. How dare you get out in? I wasn't a big fan of that. I wish they would have used a different voice, but other than that, you know, I think it really kept me enthralled. I mean,
yeah,
you see Blade.
It was like 10 seconds of one episode thing. And I loved when they cut back and they're like, who is she talking to? It's like, oh, maybe his imaginary friend is real. One of them is like, you know what? At this point, sure.
Yeah.
I thought the humor in this was decent. Not all of it. There was a lot of like, okay, you can stop talking now. But there was some really decent humor in this that I actually really enjoyed. There's a couple of moments where I did legit laugh out loud.
I chuckled at some. And it's hard to make me chuckle at a movie. It really is hard to make me chuckle. But yeah, I chuckled a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Okay, sorry. There's one last thing I want to talk about because you are a zombie fan, and I realize that every zombie movie has different rules that they play by.
Mhm.
In this one, it felt a little bit weird how some of the zombies got stronger and some of the zombies got weaker. Now, what I mean by that is we see a scene, actually, sorry, in What If, where no, yeah, in What If, Bucky throws the shield and cuts Captain America in two.
Mhm.
Right? So
Yep.
that's why we get like half of Captain America running around, which was
Right.
hilarious. It was so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I like that.
And then in this show, Captain America throws the shield at
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian
Yeah.
and just kind of bonks off his head.
Yeah.
Like he kind of goes like, oh. I was like, wait a second. We just saw that decapitate a person. But in every other instance, the zombies seem to get stronger. Like Thor straight up hits Wanda Maximoff with a lightning bolt like 7 times.
Mhm.
And she's kind of just like, whatever. And I'm like, no. no. In the
Yeah.
MCU, if Thor hit you with a lightning bolt, you are toast.
Yep.
Like she can control reality, but she's just a human body. She is not
Right.
stronger by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
And there was another one too where I was just like, you're taking a lot more. Oh, Namor. Namor was
Yeah.
way stronger in this than he is in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like he was in a containment container. He was in a containment unit built for the Hulk.
Right.
And he broke out. Whereas
Right,
in
and
the TV,
it
in the movies, he
took him,
got
like,
taken
2
out by
minutes.
Black Panther alone.
Right. Yeah. Namor, it really threw me out of it. I couldn't understand why it seems like their superhero powers would get bigger when
Yeah.
they died. When it comes to Captain America, you know, you figure in just about every other zombie movie, you're stabbing people in the skull, you know, and a
Yeah.
regular blade's going through and all of that. So you would figure a weaker body easier to like pull limbs off and this and that and the other thing. So to me, that made sense with Captain America.
Sure.
I don't know why he wouldn't be able to throw as much, you know, be able to throw it like as hard, because zombies have no pain receptors, you know, and that's what limits us. And you would figure super soldier serum mixed with that, he'd be able to just, you know,
Huck
whiz
it
the thing
full
by.
strength.
So that threw me off just a little tiny bit. It almost, and Red Guardian is kind of like the Temu version of Captain America.
Sure.
That's the running joke. That's, you know, so Captain America making light work, a zombie Captain America making light work of Red Guardian is what I expected. But I got kind of, you know, that it was a half a man, you know, but
Well, and
I
even
can't
he
understand.
bit him at one point. And he's like, teeth are unfair.
Yeah.
But I think he was on like the boot, so like he just couldn't get through like the heavy leather. So I was like, okay, that's fair. I'll allow
Right.
that. But yeah, I thought Captain America, even half of Captain America, would take out a Red Guardian. Glad he
Right,
didn't. Really enjoyed his character. Glad he stuck around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
There were a couple of moments in this, especially on the rewatch, where they felt like they really dragged some things out. Like when Thor shows up, when they're trying to fly away on the spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just in there watching him, and I'm just screaming at the TV, like, get out of here. Like, go, don't watch this. I get that we're watching it from their perspective, so if they left, we missed that fight scene. But, like, it takes until Thor is literally like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Right.
And it just
Like
like
an
that took a
awkward
little
silence. Yeah, like an
Yeah.
awkward silence, because he just kind of stood over and they stood staring at him and he stared back, and then like 7 seconds later, 8 seconds later, he said something. So it's kind of like one of those uncomfortable stares type things, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm with you for that. And then at the scene when Yelena, you know, was dying, and you had Red Guardian, you know, just pounding, it's Yelena, no, you know, and then he repeats it again, Yelena, no, and then kind of gets down on his knees and no, you know, that kind of, you know, it's like, all right, let's get on with it. But
yeah,
basically,
again,
I
like
think
when Red Soldier dies, and like there's a horde of zombies coming at them, and she's just holding up that shield, like, I'm so sorry. Like, a great scene, went on far too long, especially with that horde coming at them. Like, get on the freaking ship.
Yeah, it's
like, you
almost,
knew he was dying the whole time. He ate flesh. Like, we're leaving you behind. You're not coming with us.
Yeah, too many fingers. But
I
he
ate a lot of fingers.
but yeah, it's almost like they were looking at the clock, and it's all right, we have to clock this in at 32 minutes, just 15 seconds. All right, switch to the
Yeah.
that's what it reminded me of in a couple of scenes like that, but there's not a ton. So
There's
I mean,
not a
I can
ton.
forgive
I'm
it.
just nitpicking at this point because I
Yeah.
legitimately I thoroughly enjoyed this. Even going back and rewatching the What If episode, it got significantly better knowing that this was here. So I
Yes.
would suggest if you're watching this, watch 5 episodes. Don't just watch the 4. Watch the What If episode, and if you watch all of those, you can do it easily in an evening. This is a really high rating for me. Like I actually had a really good time with this, even on the rewatch, and that's twice in 1 week, which is pretty unusual for me.
Hmm.
I thoroughly enjoyed this show.
Right.
I don't have like a rating system per se for this, but like I'd probably be in like the 8s, 8.5, somewhere in that range for
Yeah,
something
that's a
like
good
this.
one.
Like I really, really enjoyed this. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot. We don't normally do this, but like, do you have a if you had to gun to your head, what would your number be for this?
I'd give it a solid 8. I'm right up there with you. You know, it's I wouldn't have gone to see it in theaters. You know, I just wouldn't have, because I'm not a real big
Because
fan
of
of
the
like,
animation?
yeah, of animation in theaters. And but on streaming, and especially since we have Disney Plus, you
Yeah.
know, and it's great. It was a free night of entertainment, you know, watching it. But I'd give it a solid 8. I think it's really worth watching, especially if you have some older kids, and
Yeah.
right around the holiday season with the Halloween, especially right now, if you're looking for kind of a family friendly Halloween movie. I say that lightly because even though it's animated gore, it's still animated gore, you know.
There's still some scenes in here for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but
Now,
it's definitely worth a watch.
last thing before I let you go, if this had been live action, would that have gotten you into a theater?
100%.
Nice.
I probably would have watched it 2 or 3 times on opening weekend if it was live action.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just that
sorry.
you're fine. It's just that good. I mean, I've been waiting so long for a Marvel Zombies, and if it was live action, if it was something like Endgame and Infinity War where it was that epic, oh yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
would have.
If
I
they bring back all the actors to do something like this, that'd be a very fun project for sure.
yes, it would.
All right, and that's our review of Marvel Zombies. It is streaming right now on Disney Plus. Head over there and check it out if you haven't already, if we didn't spoil it too much for you. Again, I was joined by RealBubbaHotep. I'll leave a link down below for his YouTube channel. You can go over there and give him a follow. I'm sure he'd greatly appreciate it. He's doing a lot of hard work with video gaming, movies, stuff like that. So make sure you hit subscribe on this video as well as his video so that we see you in the next one.